Yes, birds are surely pumped.
Dzień dobry. Assalamu alaikum. Ni hao, ciao. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you today? Welcome to the show. It's Ken at 10. As usual, every day, giving you an update on all things property. We're James Alexander Estate Agents, based in Norbury, Southwest 16, which is between Streatham and Croydon, because I always get asked, where's Norbury? You should know. It's an important part of the world. We're zone 3, so a good commuter area, and we talk about all things property. Busy weekend of viewings, still really busy out there, lots of activity going on. As you can imagine, big pipeline to chase and make sure everybody gets through before that stamp duty deadline hits. Or will it? Will he extend it? That's a question on a lot of people's lips. We just don't know, do we? But one thing's for sure, it really has stimulated the housing market incredibly, especially in the range of sort of 500 to 700,000. That's our local kind of sweet spot. I think all areas tend to have them depending on your price range and your sort of typical makeup. But certainly that's our sweet spot at the moment. Lettings is really busy still as well, which is surprising. We're getting lots of move-ins still, so that's quite surprising. COVID was an interesting one over the weekend. I was reading about the accident that led to the solution. AstraZeneca, when they decided to test their new solution, their new vaccine, what they did was they administered it in the UK and elsewhere, and they accidentally made the first dose 50% of the full dose, and it was a complete accident. And what they found was that the 50% dose followed by a later 100% dose of the same vaccine were better than the other trial, and it was completely by accident. And I love these kind of accidental discoveries. There are a few that I want to share with you, which I thought were quite interesting. One of them was about Viagra. Stand by at the end of the show for that one, because that's one that makes me laugh most of all. I'll tell you about that later. The other one was about champagne. Apparently, what happened was that years ago, when they used to store the champagne, they stored it in quite weak bottles. And through the winter, it was fine. But as the temperature warmed up and the wine began to ferment, so the bottles exploded. And they thought this was a problem. And they strengthened the bottles and found out that actually it was champagne. And therefore, champagne was invented. Fantastic. Love that. Back to the Viagra story later. I know you're going to stay on for that one. Areas of natural beauty make a good investment. We've been saying this for a while now. One of the things that's been happening with the local market is that people have been moving to beautiful areas because they can. So whereas before, people weren't really telecommuting much at all. There wasn't really, I mean, who knew about Zoom really? Not many people before the lockdown. And now many people who previously worked in offices and commuted in are working from home. And because they're working from home, this is changing their lives. Some are going overseas and working from there, but many are going to beauty spots, areas of natural beauty. And this has pushed prices there. And apparently, properties in national parks at the moment carry a 67% premium over the rest of the area. And areas of outstanding natural beauty were 56% above the rest of the area. So that's quite interesting. Another piece of good news on the housing market, lenders have eased the first-time buyer conditions. This is something that annoyed me. You may know I talked about this before. But the Bank of Mum and Dad, anyone using the Bank of Mum and Dad nationwide was saying, oh, no, that's not right. You can't loan money from your parents as part of your deposit. We want to see that you've done the hard work and saved it. Well, they backpedaled on that. And good thing, too, they scrapped the rule regarding gifted deposits. It bars borrowers who rely on help from parents previously, and now they're saying it's okay. Broker arm, the Co-op Bank, has lifted a similar rule as well. A requirement for first-time buyers to be employed for 6 months. And TSB and Yorkshire have both resumed low deposit lending, unveiling 90% deals. That rate's higher, as you'd expect. But the good news is the market does seem to be loosening up in that way, which has to be good, because I've said for a long time, the area that's really struggling and the area that I see as a log jam for the housing market is that low end, the first-time buyers, and just to release that is going to be really important. And I know Boris has talked about this 95% deal. We'll see what happens there. Now, back to this Viagra story. It was originally a drug designed for angina, and it was given to women and men that required blood flow to be increased in the heart. And the doctors actually discovered that the men using the drug tended to be lying on their stomachs. And that was how they discovered Viagra. I just thought that was an interesting anecdote. So that's it from Ken at 10 today. Hope you have a fantastic day. Keep well and stay safe. I'll be back same time tomorrow for another Ken at 10.